So to set the tone for today's session, I would like to ask to the stage Dr. Daniel Stork, the Consul General of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, to deliver welcome remarks.
It works. Thank you, Van. And good morning, and thank you for calling me doctor. I wish I had had the discipline to to do that at university, but not yet. Maybe one day, who knows, eh? After Vietnam. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Daniel Stork, and I'm the Dutch Consul General in Ho Chi Minh City. And it really is great to be here today, and I really want to thank Mimi and Van from Race Partners for bringing all of us together. Many different people, many different kinds of people with different backgrounds, different professions. Also want to thank Hao and the Vietcetera team for making this happen and for making us also, offering us the opportunity to support this as a Dutch government. We celebrate 50 years of diplomatic relations this year with Vietnam, as my friend Sarah from Australia also is doing. And for us, it's a moment to also enhance our commitment to cooperation and to help Vietnam, which faces so many different challenges, as we do, to go further and to also bring these Dutch solutions, which we have also, which are from the tough experience of living with the sea, for example, and contributing to a sustainable future in Vietnam. For many years already, and maybe you know, the Netherlands has been the #1 investor, EU investor in Vietnam, and the largest EU trade partner. And as Dutch, regarding this topic of ESG, we stand for a two-pronged approach. On the one hand, working with implementing partners and NGO partners, such as climate fund managers who were here yesterday, Invest International, SNV, IDH, Triple Jump, Infraco Asia, FMO, CNV, and Fairware, to give companies, local government, national government, and citizens the tools to mobilize on ESG. And on this note of mobilizing citizens, I think it is so important here also to say that citizen participation and having the support from a society for a topic like ESG is essential. And if you want it at all to move on, you need consumers also, because that's also what ESG at the end is about, to believe in what you are doing as businesses. So that civic engagement is essential. We also use our substantial business clout as the Netherlands in Vietnam with our partners such as the Dutch Business Association in Vietnam and Eurocham to mobilize the businesses and businesses working with or exporting to the Netherlands, Vietnamese businesses I'm talking about. And the Netherlands in Europe is the top export destination. Currently, the EU is developing and implementing pivotal new legislation to support its climate ambitions, like the Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism and Corporate Sustainability Due Diligence Directive. This legislation will apply within the EU, but its effect will extend beyond the EU borders, even to Vietnam. And in this, as Dutch Embassy and Consulate General here in Ho Chi Minh City, we partner up with local stakeholders to prepare the businesses for this unavoidable transition, given the importance of the European market for Vietnamese exports. We work together with the Vietnamese government, as well as international partners present here, such as the EU delegation and its programs, the UNDP, Asian Development Bank, World Bank, GIZ, and Australia, to properly coordinate our efforts, because what you see also in the Mekong Delta, there are so many different initiatives going on, and everybody's worried about it, but that coordination is very important. And let me share with you some of the examples of what we do when it comes to ESG. The Netherlands government, together with our partners through the different funds and programs, support Dutch companies in international financing of innovative solutions that contribute to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. Invest International, FMO, CFM, Triple Jump are providing funds for sustainable development projects in Vietnam in the areas of renewable energy, clean water supply, food safety, etc. These projects are supporting jobs, income generating, improving people's lives, and indeed making a difference. For instance, Invest International has invested nearly 45 million euros in Vietnam via projects in sustainable manufacturing, water, and climate. The Dutch government is the biggest contributor in climate fund managers for $140 million funding for 2 wind power projects in Chavin, which I visited recently. And another €100 million have been channeled for our partners to achieve climate resilience, green economic growth in target countries that I will touch upon. Dutch organizations such as CNV International, IDH, and Fairware focus on improving workers' rights. And I was very happy also to see the CNV representative from a Dutch trade union present here yesterday and working together with counterparts in Vietnam. Equal labor rights for women, also very important in the workplace, and increasing youth employment in Vietnam. In this, we work hand in hand with the Vietnamese government. SNV and IDH collaborate closely with communities, government agencies, and businesses across the country to reduce poverty. They focus on energy, reducing emissions from deforestation, and forest degradation, and sustainable and inclusive agriculture. And last week, I was in Bao Loc, and we visited a project in the fertile, this beautiful countryside of Bao Loc, where a lot of the coffee is grown, and a lot of these small coffee farmers are being confronted with EU deforestation regulation, which means that if the coffee which is produced has contributed to deforestation, it will not access the European market. And this is, of course, a good thing, but it can very much affect the livelihood of these farmers. And so it's very important to create that awareness of alternatives, of increasing their income by diversifying the products, and also just passing the message that this is going to happen. And when we talked to local government, there was quite some worry about it, and also asking for more time. But if you look at it, this deforestation has been going at an incredible speed around the world, not only in Vietnam. And if you don't do something now about it, there will not be any forest left. The Netherlands invests in ESG capacity building for Vietnamese companies via different interventions such as ESG workshops and the Ready-to-Export program offered to local companies in cooperation with the Dutch Business Association in Vietnam. All along the supply chains related to the Netherlands and the EU, we stimulate businesses to improve their ESG. And let me point out a few Dutch companies, some of whom are present here, like Heineken Vietnam, like De Heus, like Nutreco, Friesland Campina, whom you might know from Dutch Lady, Signify of the lights, the Philips lights, Royal Haskoning, KLM, Green Coconuts, Dalat Hasfarm from the flowers, Douwe Egberts, La Cave, and Hoi An Roastery, all in the coffee business. They invest in contributing to Vietnam's green growth strategy via different projects to reduce CO2 emissions, energy efficiency, and or recycle wastes. In this way, for example, the Heus, who produce animal feed, are active across the country with 8 factories and have signed a deal with Green Roof, funded by the Netherlands, to roll out solar panels on all their factories. Heineken and Friesland Campina have substantially committed to reducing waste in packaging and wastewater, and to work with sustainable energy. And the coffee companies which are mentioned are focusing on sustainable coffee producing. We have partnered up with 10 Dutch businesses and academia through our triple helix approach, working on aquaculture in the Mekong Delta to improve the sustainability and livelihood of those living and working in the Delta, a region which I've now been many times to, and which is very similar to the Netherlands, 17 million people, about the same size, and is a region which is seriously threatened by climate change, and which, if nothing is done, within 50 years, half of the Mekong Delta will disappear under the water. With partners like the Ocean Cleanup and SNV, and the informal sector of trash collecting cycling ladies, we target specifically recyclable plastic waste. At the Green Economy Forum and Exhibition last autumn, our Minister for Foreign Trade, Liesje Schrijnemacher, mobilized the delegation of Dutch businesses to showcase sustainable solutions in developing Vietnam towards a green economy. The Dutch government and our businesses have committed to responsible business conduct by prioritizing the well-being of people, environmental stewardship, and community engagement. And I also want to say here, I do think we organize these conferences and we support projects, but it's also very important to practice what you preach, and as leaders to lead by example. So for example, our ambassador Kees in Hanoi, he now drives an electric VinFast. He gave up his beautiful Mercedes, which he had. I have an electric Vespa for my commutes. Elina has an electric bakfiets where you can put your children inside. And it's also an attraction for Ho Chi Minh City. So I mean, it contributes to the great color of this city. And we help mobilize the cycling community in Ho Chi Minh City and Dong Thap, where we were a few weeks ago. And I have also signed up to a gender pledge to not sit in on boards with no female representation. And personally, I go about on my bicycle, shopping, and bringing my kids to school. I don't have the bakfiets, but I just have little seats. We also stimulate diversity in the workplace, and we stimulate our businesses to also focus on this, as we believe this increases productivity and attractiveness of companies. ESG is not a matter of choice, but a necessity, and the opportunities to do something about it are out there. The clock is ticking to keep Vietnam the attractive country it is, both in terms of the health of its incredible natural environment, unlocking the full potential of its wonderful people, as well as a place where doing business is good and complies with international standards and regulations which are related to the health of our planet. So do stay in touch with the Dutch, me, my team here, with us here at the CG and the embassy. And if you want to partner up on ESG, do let us know. Thank you very much.